Yeah, you can leave. Thank you.
Thank you, Beth.
Hi.
Can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Hi. Actually, the audio is quite difficult to hear.
Oh, really? Is that better?
Speak into the microphone. Yeah, right.
Is that better?
Yes, it is.
Go ahead. Okay. So as I mentioned last month, the board discussed the possibility of the process and asked me to formal proposal from Andrew Berman, the architect we worked with on the renovation project. Andrew's here to share information or answer any questions you might have. You have the fee proposal in front of you. It's the same amount that I provided last month of $36,000. This would be a multi-month process where Andrew would go through a design process with our staff to create a master plan for the third floor and also end up with some more realistic, accurate cost estimates to help the board make decisions moving forward on what it wants to do for the third floor. So Andrew, did you want to say anything?
Well, thanks for the opportunity to submit this. As I think we discussed when you had a walkthrough, I think there's a obvious, well, I believe that we're going to find great opportunities to take the third floor forward into the general culture that the first and second floor have moved toward, which is about more collaboration, more flexibility, more synergy between all of the various departments and team members. And so I see the project as being one of very specific problem solving, but it's all at its core, it's about addressing the larger shift in culture and library life that has occurred since the third floor has been built and bring it forward in a flexible manner. The other thing I just wanted to mention briefly is that part of the master plan is to provide not just a kind of direction for further development, but a series of credible options for you all to be able to assess spatially and cost-wise so that you can make an informed decision about what kind of project you want to move into, assuming you do move into a full-blown construction project on the third floor.
Thank you, Andrew. Board have any questions? I recommend board approval of the fee proposal from Andrew Berman Architect for $36,000.
Andrew, when's the plan for having this completed?
I'm sorry, Mark, I didn't hear that.
What is the plan to have this completed?
We estimated the process would be about 12 weeks. And maybe the final cost estimate would be tacked on to the tail end of that, but it won't take terribly long. But it's not an absolute finite schedule, but that's our goal, to be able to get from start to finish in that time.
So, any other questions? Okay. Motion to approve the contract with Andrew Berman Architects, the amount of $36,000.
So moved.
Right. Second. Okay, all in favor? Money?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay, that passes 5-0.
Okay, thank you,
Thank
Andrew.
you, Andrew.
Great, thank you. We look forward to speaking soon.
Have a good night.
You too. Good night, all.
Right.
Okay, now we're back on schedule, page 9, the disbursement report. Go to page 9, the bills. Questions or comments on the bill? Hearing none, and I have a motion to approve the bill.
So motion.
Second. Okay, all in favor, Michelle?
Yes.
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 That passes 5-0. Approval of the roofing project pay application, that's at page 17. Any questions or comments on that?
Glad to see they're making good progress. Everything's on schedule.
The current payment due is $497,670.30. Okay, hearing no other questions or comments, then I have a motion to approve that pay application.
So move.
Second,
Second.
okay. All in favor, Michelle?
Yes.
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 And that passes 5-0. Page 25, the year-to-date budgetary status. Questions or comments on that? Hearing none, we approve this.
No, we don't, it's just noted, it's just pulled out of the consent agenda.
Okay, next, the balance sheet for 6 months ending 10/31/21. That's at page 26.
This is something that we provide every November, just to give you a halfway and kind of look at what our revenues and expenditures look like. It always looks very similar to this because we haven't received, obviously, the spring tax money yet. We haven't spent half the year's expenditures yet, so it's looking very normal for this time of the year. If you have any questions, Blake and I can address them.
Any questions or comments?
No, that's, just a note.
Okay, next is the consent agenda, all right? That begins at page 27.
I noted favorably that the borrowing of books is back.
Print, yes.
Yes, it has rebounded nicely. Thank you.
Yeah,
And
that's,
across all categories, that was really encouraging, adult, teen, and children.
youth is especially doing very well.
Yeah, especially considering the lower the account that we've had, given that many families vaccinated yet, so.
The people who are
Very
coming in are
encouraging.
doing,
Yeah.
obviously doing
I
well.
think the way we have the collections displayed and the display tables and things are really moving. Excellent, yeah. Good to see.
Okay, any other questions, comments on the consent agenda? Pass that.
Yes.
Okay, I have a motion that will pass the consent agenda. Yeah. So move. Any second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that passes 5-0.
Thank you. I'm going to turn the next item over to Laura to introduce the approval of the Illinois Libraries present the governmental agreement.
Okay, so in a nutshell, this is a group of libraries in Rail banding together to have greater purchasing power. So in order to present larger programs. So the fees are based on the library's operating budget. Jam together, you're able to bring in big name authors that no library would be able to afford on their own. You're able to get a Zoom license for many, many, many attendees, so it spreads access to the program. And it's right in line with what we would be paying to bring in some of our program presenters. So it's very reasonably priced for us, and it gives us access to larger events that we'd be able to do on our own. So I recommend approval of the intergovernmental agreements to Illinois Libraries present.
Question
And
for
Amy's also been involved, so she can help me.
Great, okay. Question for you folks. So I see that there's different components to the fee. So there seems to be kind of an initial fee, and then there's the ongoing fee. So can you help us to quantify what is our share of both of those?
So the part that we pay to join the consortium is $1,150. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then there may be fees for specific events, but those fees would basically be in line with what we're paying to bring in much lower priced program presenters. So in the range of a couple hundred, right?
I thought I saw like a $10,000 figure in the
So-
agreement somewhere.
That's just giving an example of some of the authors who have been brought in some of the preliminary ones without the formal consortium, are of a caliber where it's $12,000 or more, their standard
Right.
price, so
But I
we
thought there
don't pay
was-
that.
Right, yeah,
I noted
the
that.
consortium would be covering that, so everyone's contribution.
I thought there was a higher initial though setup fee. But you're saying it's only 1,150?
Yeah, we fall into the highest operating budget category, which is 5 million and up. And so the total cost is 1,150.
On 68.
You're talking about section 3A?
It's something 68, I think.
Is this the last sentence of the next to last paragraph
On page
that mentions the
71,
12,000?
it says initial cost of 10,000 plus in the aggregate will be paid by the 12 member libraries.
Yes, thank you. That's
Oh, okay. Yeah, so that's just referring to everybody pitching in to the pool, which then pays that.
That's above the regular fee.
Each library is putting in their portion, so in our case, 1,150. There's nothing on top of that. That just all goes into the pot to help fund the programs.
So 1,150 is our share, and then you're saying the fees for the individual speakers and events, you're saying you're thinking that it's going to be in line with what we would have paid individually anyway.
Right, so a couple $100, but you get a huge name speaker.
Right.
Versus a couple $100 we pay for a normal program presenter who's just local
Got you.
or doesn't have the reach of some.
Okay, very good, thank you.
Are all these speakers gonna be, through the internet? Anyone coming live to any library?
It's through Zoom, so people from all over can watch it, so it's more accessible that way. Yeah, they're not meant to be in person in an
Okay,
auditorium.
but
Yeah.
there's not gonna be a sort of a rotating in-person presentation which goes out on Zoom. In other words, we have one, and Glenview has one, Aurora has one, or whatever.
No, it's meant to
No.
be that
Okay.
everybody has a portion of the Zoom
Okay,
seat, so that we can have thousands of people there potentially from all over the place.
I like your idea.
None of the authors or presenters will be present at
In
the
Illinois.
member libraries. Is that right?
To my knowledge, that's not been part of what's envisioned for the pilot, but one of the benefits of being one of the contributing members would be to give that sort of feedback and say, we'd like to explore this.
This was,
Yeah, I think that would be really great.
this came out of the pandemic year, of course, and so as you saw, this is a pilot project for 6 months, and we'll see how it goes. And
I do think people do like to see physically the author. And if it's possible, sort of to rotate, maybe it's not. Then you have to pay them to come in. and,
Yeah, there are additional
pay
fees
their-
associated with
Right,
bringing
their
somebody
living
here.
expenses and so on. But I do think there is a benefit, and people could go to nearby libraries, or Glenview. But I think there's a benefit in having people come into the library and to physically see the presenter. People whose book books they've been reading. And, maybe in the future we can think of that, but I do think that there's a benefit.
And we certainly have had some more local authors or smaller scale events in person in the past. But this is a chance to get the bigger names that
Right.
we could never bring in person. And many libraries don't have an auditorium like we do, so it might be a rather small rotation of places that could even host a couple hundred people without, renting out North Shore Center for the Performing Arts or something like that.
Well, I wouldn't be thinking of in terms of everybody going to that. You have on the Wi-Fi, and then a certain number of people will be able to go in person.
Yeah, we can definitely present that to the organizing committee.
How many events, is there a minimum amount of events that we're buying into this? Or that they're like,
said during the probably at least 6, right?
so, the consortium is planning to have between 2 and 3 a month for the 6 months pilot. And, the participating libraries can opt into any of those that are of interest. So our program coordinators would look at who is on the roster and what's going to best connect with our community, and then opt into those ones specifically.
The agreement doesn't actually require them to do anything. We're saying we like the Zoom, it doesn't require them to provide Zoom. You're saying 2 a month, doesn't require them to do 2 a month. This is all about how much we're going to pay. They're not committed to anything in the agreement, at least what you've shown. Now, there is some reference to scope of services as described in Exhibit A, and we don't have Exhibit A. I'm assuming you're asking us to do sort of a good faith, trust them that they're going to do all these things they say, but the agreement we're signing, they're not committed to doing anything. We're committed to paying, they're not committed to delivering, as the agreement is written.
In legal terms, that would be correct.
Yeah, I'm just saying, we're committed to paying the dollars, but in reading,
Yeah.
just
I
what
can
Michelle's
certainly-
asking, there's no commitment to
Yeah.
provide a single thing or a single Zoom link.
Well, we're saying we don't have that exhibit that.
Yeah, I can certainly get you that exhibit. There were some sample things included. One of the exhibits was a list of the committee members who had been part of it. But this was the actual agreement that needed to be signed, so I can certainly get that.
Well, but you
to you,
understand
Yeah, no, I do understand your point. I do believe this is actually going to happen. They are going to get the Zoom license and the events will happen.
This is a network of our
Yeah.
neighboring.
Our peer
Right,
libraries.
I get-
So-
Yeah, no,
But
but I take your
legally-
point. I take your point, yes.
So do we need to get that?
Would you like
Put it
to
in there
before
before
we sign it?
I'm willing to go along if you guys trust them. I'm just saying that this is legally, it's inadequate, but we can still approve it.
I'd be happy to bring it back next month and get those for you.
Do you need us to approve it right now?
I think it would be helpful in a timeline of when practice.
How much is, how soon do they need the money, I guess?
Yeah. I think timeline, we don't need it by next month, but we could bring it back.
Right, the deadline is the end of this calendar year, so if the board were to look at it in more depth before the
If you don't
December
mind,
meeting.
I'd like
I'd be happy to do that.
to
Yeah.
see whatever the exhibit, or whatever their commitment is to
Yeah.
Michelle's point of.
That's no problem. We can have that in the next board packet. Go ahead.
They can have a motion to table.
Motion to table.
Second. Okay, all in favor of tabling the Illinois Libraries intergovernmental agreement? It's outlined. Okay, all in favor? All in favor, so that's 5-0. We'll bring it up again next.
Thank you.
Okay, next is the tolling agreement with IMET and the closing of the IMET.
So we spoke about this last month, and the board asked me to consult with our attorneys, and they did. And after speaking with them, I think their recommendation or their thought was that there's not really a reason to continue the tolling agreement, especially with the size of loss that we had compared to some of the other clients of IMAX. So
And nobody is suing this third party.
they have none of the attorneys I spoke with were able to tell me that there was an opportunity to get involved with anything.
Okay, and the point I want to make, we don't have enough skin in the game to warrant us paying attorneys. And it's gonna cost us more than attorneys fees. And since nobody else is suing for us to tag on to, let's just get rid of it. And stop paying our attorney once a year to renegotiate the tolling agreement. Okay, so, anybody else have any comment?
There's also the matter of the account itself.
We want to close the account.
Wife and I would like to, if
The only reason that we kept it open was in case there was litigation. There was no reason to keep it open.
You know, the 9 cents of interest isn't doing anything.
Right.
I
Okay.
gotta book it every month.
It's just more work for Blake, essentially.
Not that, you know, I'm complaining.
No, I didn't get that.
Okay, there's two really motions. One is to dispose of the assets.
Well, closing the account is really something
Moving
that
it,
Mike and I handle anyway with our accounts.
So do we have to approve that?
No, I just wrote it in a way to make sure the board understood the consequence of not extending the tolling agreement. We're planning to close it.
Okay, so we need a
Goes hand
motion.
in hand.
We need a motion to allow the tolling agreement with IMED and to expire. Okay, somebody want to make that motion?
So moved.
Okay, a second.
Second.
Okay, if it's involved money.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, Michelle?
Yes.
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 Okay. We're done with that. The next thing is reaching across rails, and Michelle was not here. So, and she had a wonderful report you can all read. No reason to have any further discussion on it. Okay, next is comments from the trustees. Do we have any comments from any of the trustees?
Just a quickie, because, are you guys familiar with the Dolly Parton Foundation Library Program? And there's a documentary on Canopy, you can see it, Dolly's Library. It's pretty phenomenal, and I was looking, there's nothing like it in the Midwest, practically. And basically, what they've done is to be able to identify when a child is born, and at the hospital, they get this invitation to join the program, and what happens is these children receive a book, age appropriate, a book to be read to them from 0 to 5. The last book being, I'm going to kindergarten. And the kinds of data they have on the response to this program is pretty phenomenal. And I was looking at the parent packet, you know, that we're still kind of trying to deal with here. I don't know that we can do what they're doing. I mean, they're sending out millions of books. And they send out millions of books. It's now a global program. And the foundation is down to paying under $2. So with everything, but it's a huge, you know, it becomes a huge expense. So I'm not suggesting that we do a program like that, but I am suggesting that perhaps it might stimulate some ideas of ways that we could encourage literacy for birth.
We had an initiative years ago, and I don't know if it has continued actually. I have to look into it, but where we were part of a number of libraries who partnered with Advocate Movement and Displays to kind of donate books, but also have a name, basically like give books to newborn. I don't know if that's continuing, but I thought that maybe at that time I remember thinking maybe it's a better strategy for us here in Skokie because we don't know where if people are going to have their babies, is to work with pediatricians perhaps in Stokely and make sure that we connect with like newborns and their families that way. So,
And I think the most important part of that, the pardon program is that the books come in the mail addressed to the child, one a month.
oh, wow. Okay.
So it's something for parents to read to their kids. The whole thing now they do it, there's even a Braille text version that they do for kids with sighted parents or unsighted parents and vice versa. So I just wanna, with all the technology, I just really wanna reinforce literacy. Just whatever we can do to say that we shouldn't lose it. We need all this other new stuff.
Definitely have conversations with the staff about generating slides.
The documentary is phenomenal. It's not that long, under an hour, but it's pretty phenomenal. I mean, I wanted to run and just go bow at her feet. Incredible.
May I have your attention, please? The Skokie Public Library will be closing in 15 minutes at 9 p.m. If you have items that you wish to borrow, please use the spell checks to check them out at this time. All library materials must be checked out before we close. Thank you.
Okay, I have, are we finished?
Yes.
Okay. I have one other comment, and that you need to select a new trustee. So far, we've gotten 3 applicants, and you've asked for additional, you've asked some people.
We've definitely got the word out, since we haven't received any recently.
No new one.
Well, I do think we should, and Noreen's going to interview with me. Thank you for volunteering. But I think we should go forward with that. And let's bring these people in. And if everyone agree on that.
You mean just bring all 3 into all?
No. Noreen and I will talk to them. And if we can eliminate any of them, we will. Okay.
Is it possible to give it another month or so to continue
You
our
can.
outreach efforts?
Yeah.
I would like to see us continue to, tell the community that this position is open.
Well, let's do it
To
to the
encourage
next
more
meeting.
people to submit.
When was it posted?
It's posted about over a month ago. 2 months ago.
Right, but we're living again still in very difficult, extraordinary times, and, our community engagement department, I would really love to see them in action with this and.
Oh, they have,
contacting-
yeah. It's strange, actually. I'm just actually not sure what's happening.
Yeah, last several times we got like,
People might be just
application.
tired.
People
Yeah.
are tired, and it's the fall, and you've got manual work to do. I will testify to that.
In the past, years past, we really didn't advertise it. And it was really left to the existing, current board members to kind of be thinking about, like, do I know someone in the community or a neighbor or, and I'm not sure if I would ask the board, we'll continue to push, but if you can think of any
That's a good
people,
point, Richard.
I would really encourage you to reach
Okay.
out. I mean, Noreen came to us through Maggie, actually. I believe Maggie was-
I'm sorry?
Didn't Maggie tell you about the opportunity when
Right.
you joined? So that.
Well, I told Maggie about this.
Oh, you did? So
When she came on
she
and then-
reciprocated?
Noreen was a special situation,
Well,
because
our
Noreen's special.
good fortune-
Thank you.
our good fortune.
Yeah, I mean, that worked out well for us, so
Yeah, so in the past, that's how it was all done. And since I've been president, I changed that. So we advertised, and we've gotten every other time, large number of people. More than many. Yeah.
Well, I just to take us over that finish line tonight, because the library's closing, I would like to see us continue this process. I do not want us to rush this. I think we're living in obviously very important times with everything that we have going on. And I will take what you just said, Richard, to heart, and I will think about in our community who I think might be some people that would be interested in this and encourage my fellow trustees to do the same. And yes, let's keep all the other avenues of communication going. Let's keep broadcasting it, putting it in the social media, like all of it. Let's keep doing it. And I'm not adverse to keeping it open. We've done this in the past where it's been open for a couple or few months. I think that's fine, you know, to increase potential participation in this process. What do you all think?
Certainly another month.
Yeah, let's talk about it next month. See where we're at. Another 4 weeks.
I tried to reach out, I got smacked down by everybody, they're just tired. And they're volunteering on all kinds of stuff. Plus, we have the 2022 elections coming up, and people are committed, and they just don't want, you know, at least the people that I've spoken with. So they're either tired or they're committed.
I understand that. I think we all can, right?
Okay, any other comments from the trustees? Any other comments from the trustees? Okay, can we have a motion to adjourn? Okay, a second. All in favor? Okay,
Hi.
that passes 5-0.